Hello, and welcome to the Love Your Work Life podcast. I'm your host, Elissa Shuck. Whether you're going for that next promotion, looking for a job, or making a career pivot, I'll teach you how to navigate it all so you can have the career you want. This is Love Your Work Life, episode 115. Have you ever wanted to do something and you're really excited about it and you're pretty motivated about it, and then the desire just sort of dissipates and you're starting to lose momentum and you're not really motivated anymore? There's a way for us as humans to not only stay motivated, but to leverage the way our brains work so that not only are we excited to keep going, but the ideas keep flowing, the creativity is flowing, and we're figuring things out with ease and maybe even having fun doing it. And the way to do this, actually the best way for sustained motivation, is always to find it from within. True motivation is internal. This means that threatening yourself or do it or else kinds of motivation in your workplace, especially if you're a leader, is obsolete. And it might seem like it works, we've seen sort of the punishment model work, but it's short term. It's not lasting, and it certainly doesn't create an atmosphere for creative thinking and innovation. When you figure out, as I'm going to teach you today, how to leverage internal motivation, then you will find that you get very creative, you get very energetic, and you create a reality on the outside that matches the picture that you've created on the inside. So let's take a look at how to do this. Now, if you think about it, the aim of advertising is to make us dissatisfied with our current reality, with our old things, and desire new things. And it's a matter of imagery. Think about the car commercials that we see. Oftentimes, they are positioning us as the camera, being in the driver's seat. So we're seeing the entire thing as if we are experiencing it live and in person. We're sitting in that beautiful seat. It's our hands on the wheel. We're looking at the beautiful dashboard, right? And all the details and bells and whistles. It's by putting that picture in front of us that we start to visualize ourselves living that life, using that product. And the same thing works when you create a picture for yourself that's different than the life you're currently living, and it creates a little bit of dissatisfaction, but done in a way that motivates you to do something about it, gets you thinking creatively. It's like you're advertising your new life to yourself. If the picture was what life is like after you make a purchase and you took it a step further and you started to really feel the emotions that you would experience, then you might find that you can give up your daily coffee drink and start saving. You could set money aside, getting creative in a way that you hadn't considered before. And it's because of the internal motivation. And it's because that dissatisfaction, that contrast between what's happening now and what you're envisioning is why you're getting creative. It's not happening by accident. It's the way our brains work. One of the key components of this is vividness. It's why the visual aesthetics of those advertisements are so powerful. It's putting us there. Plant some seeds in your imagination, put in some vividness, and you get your new reality. This formula, imagination times vividness equals reality, has kept me focused and motivated towards all the things I wanted to achieve in my career, as well as keep my team motivated and moving forward to higher levels of performance. Vividness means that you're envisioning a new reality as if it is happening right now. And because of the way our brains work, we're getting into a little Gestalt psychology now, because our brains like order and harmony. When the picture of how things are now doesn't match the picture that we are imagining, then our brain goes to work finding that match, creating that order, creating harmony so that the inside and the outside match. And that's what we can leverage. So think about it like this. When you decide that you are ready for something better, that means you're going to change jobs, or you're going to launch a new product, or you're going to elevate the results that you are creating and contributing through your team. Once you start visualizing something better and you do it with vividness and imagination, you're imprinting a new picture in your mind. And that new picture is throwing your system out of order because the new picture doesn't match the reality around you. So you become discontent. When you become discontent and you're noticing that contrast, not from a place of judgment, but just from a place of this doesn't match that, what you end up doing is unleashing energy, imagination, drive, and the motivation to bring about the new. Your own imagination, your mind's eye has thrown your picture out of order. And that means you can leverage that disharmony to create internal motivation, and therefore the actions, activities, thoughts, ideas, creativity to make that picture into a reality. So how can you throw yourself out of order intentionally so that you can leverage this and sustain this internal motivation? One way is to, again, this isn't about being negative or judgmental. It is about being aware of things and where it's not matching. So you could ask yourself some questions like, where do I feel I operate in less than an excellent way, or less than the way I would really like to? Is this acceptable to me? What are my standards of excellence? At home, on the job, in relationships? Is your idea of excellence matching your experience? What is good enough for me? Sometimes just asking that question, is this good enough for me? Is this me operating at the level I know I'm capable of? And again, this isn't about beating up on yourself, my friends. This is about noticing. And by noticing the things that aren't exactly the way you would like them to be, and visualizing the way you want it to be as if it was happening right now, that's where you do it. It's not wishful thinking. I wish I could do it this way. Nope, that's not what we're talking about here. It's by focusing on what you do want, spending time with it, creating this vivid picture that your brain will automatically start working towards it because it doesn't match the outward reality that you're experiencing. And by visualizing your new reality often, you're reminding your brain that you're not living in that space, and that's where the motivation and the resources, the creativity all come together. It's why weight loss coaches will suggest that you weigh yourself every day. not as a reminder of what you are or are not achieving, but as an agitation, right? Like the oyster with a little grain of sand in there. It's the agitation that starts to create the new reality because you're just reminding yourself, I'm not there. So you're helping your brain get to work on getting you there, motivating you to stick with it in a very internal way versus external messaging and thoughts. You're leveraging your internal system for order and harmony. Now, what's interesting about this is the next part of motivation. Once you achieve a goal and your inner ideas, your inner vision, and your outward reality match, we start to relax. We start to flatten out. And then it becomes a status quo. And when it becomes a status quo, we start losing our motivation for more. So you see how this technique can be used to intentionally renew motivation over and over and over again, because as you reach a status quo, you paint a brighter picture, you set up that disruption, you set up that contrast, and your brain goes to work for you, bringing ideas, leveraging resources, making better decisions that get you where you envision yourself to be. This is such a great way to motivate yourself and to sustain motivation because you are not relying on anything outside yourself. You're not relying on someone else to give you encouragement, which of course is nice when it happens. You're not relying on external forces. What you're doing is you're leveraging the power of your own brain. So let's take it one step further. When you want to achieve more through your team, bigger results, more sales, less expense, whatever it is, a new and empowering company culture, imagine the collective power of all of those brains going to work to create a new reality. Try this out. I'm telling you, it works. It works for you. It works for your team. Brainstorm what you want. Write it down with as much as descriptive language as possible, whether that's a personal goal or a team goal. Write it down in present tense as if it is your now reality. I love it when teams come together to collaborate and brainstorm, like, what would it be like if? And everyone's coming together. It's incredible how everyone's brain is now going to work to make that a reality through energy, through ideas, through the collective power of people. It's an amazing, amazing thing to use contrast as a method and motivation for achieving more, simply because you're using your brain in a way it was designed to be used to help you. And one last little tidbit when it comes to personal motivation and creating that picture. I love the way Bob Proctor taught how to write about your future in the present tense. He always starts it with, I am so happy and grateful now that I have that new job, now that my team has achieved the goals. Follow that statement with as much detail as possible. This is what it looks like, and this is what it feels like. That's where you're going to take those statements. And this isn't just write it down and forget it. Read it every day. Remind yourself of that picture of success, that goal achieved. By reading it every day, it's your gentle reminder. Your inner reality and your external reality are getting closer and closer and closer. And you're not being discouraged by the contrast. You're actually leveraging the contrast to get those creative juices going, to get that energy going, to realize that you have the resources you need, and those you don't, you will find, because your brain is doing its job, solving the problem, meeting the challenge, and creating order and harmony between your everyday reality and the beautiful, wonderful future that you have in mind for yourself. Change happens from the inside out, not the other way around. So use this motivation technique to help you and your team envision and achieve the bright future and all the possibilities you have in mind. All right, my friends, go out there, motivate. I'll talk to you again soon. If you like this podcast, I invite you to visit the Love Your Work Life website at elissashuck-careercoach.com. On the site, you'll find all the information you need to work with me one-on-one, as well as get access to my courses, Job Search Field Guide, and The Art of Stellar Interviews. I can't wait to help. I look forward to seeing you there.